Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from vacation still, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we've got a full slate tonight, Nate. Every single team in the NBA is on the schedule. As on Tuesday night, there will be no NBA games, so we'll have a day off until Wednesday. But we are bringing you our player props that we have been enjoying so far this season as we continue to be and finished hot last season as well. So we'll continue to roll along with these for you in just a moment. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. We've also got a couple game videos up for you tonight on that full slate, so you can check those out all season long as you are liked and subscribed to that page. Also want you to head to thelines.com and definitely check out all of the great written content. Nate bringing you these player props and game lines and game videos and picks as well, all on thelines.com. And our great odds finder tool is over there, where you can go ahead and make sure that you're shopping these lines and these player props to the best of your ability across U.S. sportsbooks. Nate, let's jump into that first prop with plenty to choose from tonight.
Yeah, and I'll stick with the game we just got done talking about, Boston and Memphis, which I like as a bit of a high-scoring game. I certainly like Jayson Tatum to continue matching points with Ja. The last time they met, they both had 38-ish, and he's averaging, now Tatum, 30 and 8 boards his last two trips to Memphis. He's averaging 30 and 8 boards on the season, and his prop is only 34.5 points and rebounds. So I'm fine with it. The points is 27.5. That actually seems a little high. I think you can get the rebounds in there because Boston's depending on him to board up more because Memphis doesn't have Jaren Jackson. It'll be interesting how often Tatum gets switched onto a guy like Santi Aldama or John Conchar when they can exploit that. I don't know if Dylan Brooks is going to be on Jaylen Brown to start here. But the point, Tatum, if you're watching him beyond the numbers, like he just looks like a much more confident, much more efficient player this season. Yeah. He's getting the free throw line the 7th most times. Nice supplement scoring there. He's got 30.5% usage rate, but the efficiency is what I come back to. I mean, he's shooting 50% from the floor. This is a guy who led the NBA in missed field goals last year, and right now he's getting the shots he wants and just carrying a Boston team that's averaging the most points per game. And you look at Memphis, they give up the 4th most free throws. They give up the 5th most 3-point attempts and the 3rd most fourth quarter points, 4th most third quarter points. So if you expect a close game with Memphis on a back-to-back here, Tatum should be giving you production right down to the wire. And I mean, if he plays a full slate, a full run here, I mean, I don't see how he goes under 35 points and rebounds.
Hell yeah. Love Tatum. Loved his, say it again, loved his MVP that prop that I took at the beginning of the season at 13-1. I also hit Ja at 12-1. Just saying, so both those guys looking really, really good right now. Although the man in Dallas named Luka is absolutely bananas as well. Either way, I'm not going to tell you no on a Tatum prop. If his points and rebounds was closer to like 36 even, and it might get up there, I'd probably still take it. I think he does get, when it's he and Ja, especially like you said, I think it's a 30-point game. And then if he's going to get 8 to 9 rebounds a game like right now, like he is, then I'm going to feel really good about that. So another over here on a pretty high total. But I mean, look, it's Shai Gilgeous right now. And I'm really ashamed to say that in my fantasy league with Mo, he went 45th overall. And somebody even typed out in the comments, like, that is absolutely criminal for what you would expect from Shai Gilgeous. And he's performing like you would expect this season so far, averaging an absurd, 32.5 points a game or so. But he's his points, rebounds, and assists tonight as they play Detroit is at 38.5 on DK at -110. If you want to get a little bit spicier, 39.5. If you take that over on FanDuel, is -104. A little better juice there. I'm going to take the FanDuel 39.5 for him to get 40. Basically, this season he got shut down a bit against the best defensive team in the league in Milwaukee last game, and as Milwaukee won that game by double digits. But in all the games this season that he has not played against Milwaukee, he's averaging 32 points, 5 boards, 6 assists. Also 2.5 steals and more than a block a game, Nate, which is absolutely amazing. It's really, he's choosing where he wants to play from, and that's from, getting to the rim. He's shooting 55% from the field, which is absolutely wild for, a guard his size. 31% from 3 because he's only shooting 3 of those a game. But he is getting to the line 7 plus times a game at about 49. So he's 48 for 49 from the free throw line this season, and he's shooting 98% from there. So he's playing a Detroit team that's just the worst team on defense in the league, especially quickly in the paint where he, like I said, he's scoring more than half his points from the paint is Shai. And that's where Detroit gives up the third most amount of points. And they also they give up the most amount of points, rebounds, assists, you name it, 3-pointers made. 2 point guards, that's where they're just the weakest. Whether that's because, I don't think Cade is really guarding the other team's point guard mostly. He's standing at about 6'7". He often seems to be taking on forwards and not trying to be the guy at the top. So, I'm not really sure. I haven't watched enough, to be honest, to understand why they're just allowing point guards to just dominate the way that they are. But if you're going to be that bad against point guards and you're playing against right now the best offensive point guard in the league in Shai, closely tied with Curry, if you want to say, it's just that's how well he's playing. I'm going to go ahead and take, him to get 40 points, rebounds, and assists combined.
Yeah, I mean, best combo guard, I guess, just pure scorer, because I guess Gidey is their point guard.
True.
And Shai is just the offense right now. I mean, the usage rate is sky high. The only reason he goes late in fantasy drafts is because they worry he's going to get shut down for playing so well eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, OKC already been mislabeling him on the injury report, but he is good to go here against, like you said, Detroit, the worst defensive rating in the NBA. I can't hate anything in terms of his points, in terms of his stats. 28.5 points is high, but I mean, he did kind of burn us getting like 34 points the other night and no peripheral stats. So maybe you do want to go that way. Or you want to look at, Shai to get 30 and a win if you're following Josh on that Thunder bet.
Yep.
I'm going to look at De'Aaron Fox here. His second game back here after missing a couple with a knee bruise. He looked just fine in his return against Orlando with 37 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. His assists have been down this year, but I think I'm taking the assists tonight, plus 115 to go over 5.5. Or you can combine it with the points, which is 25.5. But he's gone 5 assists at least in 11 straight against the Warriors. Makes sense. Warriors always playing with pace. Always, kind of trying to get the ball out of the best player's hands on the other team. So forcing him to create more than to just score, averaging 7.5 assists in those 11 games. Earlier this season, 26 points, 10 assists against Golden State. That game totaled 255, by the way. Total tonight is 232. And Fox with a 32.5% usage rate should be getting his points as well. If the Warriors continue to play bad defense, which, they have all season, especially in terms of giving up production to point guards, giving up the 6th most assists per game, the most free throw attempts per game. They rank 28th in opponents' shooting efficiency. So the assists should be there for Fox if his guys can hit those open shots. Points should also probably be there too, but I think I like the plus odds on the dimes.
Yeah, man. Fading the Dubs right now is definitely a good play, and fading their defense is just the best play you could make. Klay Thompson used to be their wing defender. He used to guard De'Aaron Fox. I think they'll happily take that matchup now if you're the Kings and De'Aaron Fox. And if not, now you're talking about needing other guys to be on the floor. I mean, Jordan Poole's not coming close to guarding De'Aaron Fox. If he does, that's a field day. Dante DiVincenzo's out for them. So you start to look around and go, I guess maybe Moses Moody, but still not able to stay in front of De'Aaron Fox. Much more flow for him. So yeah, there's nobody that's there available to guard D Fox tonight for sure. I really like that bet. So I'm going to finish us with an under here, Nate. I really wanted to go over on Karl-Anthony Towns because Rudy Gobert is out, and I wanted to look at his points. At first, I thought it was about 21.5, and let's be reminded, I'm in France, so I'm like 9 hours ahead of the West Coast, right, or 6 hours of the East Coast. So like I'm looking at these lines before any of you guys, I promise. And I thought I saw Cat at like 21.5 to open. I'm not sure, maybe I misread it or just, Gobert got ruled out, but then it went up to 25.5 on just his points. His points and rebounds is at 36.5. I'm going under on his points, rebounds, and assists. Look, I was, like I said, without Rudy this year, 1 game without him, 25 points, 9 boards, and 6 assists, which still does not get you over 41, right? So that's at 40 right there in 30 minutes. But that was a blowout win. I mean, they won by 12 against the Rockets, but he played the entire fourth quarter. So it wasn't like it was a full blowout win where he just sat, and that's the only reason he got 30 minutes. He just got 30 minutes because that was how long they played him that game. And he had a few fouls. So his usage is still there without Rudy. Obviously, it's mostly just about the fact that when Rudy's on the floor with Cat, it's 103 offensive rating for Minnesota, good for second worst to the Lakers if that was how they played all season with just those two on the floor. So yeah, that's why you consider him maybe having a bounce back game and really bringing it in this one, but against the Knicks in his last three matchups who they're playing tonight, with a 27.5% usage rate over the course of those games, still only 22, 12, and 4, right? Which gets you still about 3 or 4 shy of that total for points, rebounds, and assists combined. And yeah, look, the Knicks are the number one defense against opposing centers, which is where Cat's going to be playing tonight. Now that Rudy's not out, which is where he wants to be playing, I'm sure, and helps his spacing. But they do limit centers to the fewest amount of points per game, second fewest assists, 15th in terms of rebounding. Obviously, 3-pointers, they don't give up many of those. They played guys like Brook Lopez so far this year and a few other shooting centers that they still did not allow a bunch of threes to. So you feel pretty good about them going under. 41.5 is just too many tonight against a Knicks team that might not be as good at defense as Tibbs has loved in the past, but they're still plenty fine in a way that I think they limit Cat beyond below that number.
Yeah, and like you said, they've limited Cat since Tibbs became the coach. In his last three, He's not getting this total. They now have Isaiah Hartenstein, one of the most underrated down low defenders out there, to complement Mitchell Robinson. Depending on what they want to throw at Cat, he's going to get more attention now without Rudy there. And yeah, I mean, I think sometimes the odds tell you everything you need to know. Is that you're getting like minus 105 here at FanDuel on the under, but other books like Caesars have minus 125 for Cat to go under this. So it is expected, basically. So if you can get it at a good price there, go ahead and take the under.
Yep, love that. Do not sleep on that pickup. Isaiah Hartenstein was such a wonderful play. He's getting more minutes than Mitch Robb for most of the games this season. So yeah, it's another good reason that they've got some depth at center. But that is all the time we have for you guys. We will be off for a day as there is a break in the NBA so that everybody can get out and vote on Tuesday night. But until we see you next on Wednesday, happy betting.